Happy Sunday, Bears fans. Harrison Graham here with another episode of Bears Now. And 1 week from today, week one will be in the books, barring a super long overtime. But even then, I think the game would be over. So, if you're fired up for week one against the San Francisco 49ers, go ahead and hit that like button. Drop a like on today's show. Let's try and get 1,000 likes on this video. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump on in. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Hope everybody is having a great holiday weekend. It just stormed here in Dallas, Texas. Power actually went out for a little bit, but it's back on, and I thought I'd bring you guys a video for you before I'm back in the studios tomorrow. 15 free agent targets that the Bears could go out and sign before week one. These are just some notable players that are still out on the market, remain unsigned, and I think in some cases could contribute for this team. So kind of broke it down into a few different positions. I've got 5 receivers, 3 offensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 3 corners, and 1 defensive lineman. I think these are positions that the Bears could certainly bolster. So with that being said, let's jump on in. 5 receivers here. We'll start with the first one. Will Fuller, a player we've talked about quite a bit. Surprised he's still out there. Certainly has a rich injury history, which is probably a big reason why he remains unsigned at this point in time. Now, I could see a team bringing him on board after week one, which would make his contract non-guaranteed, and due to his injury history, that could make sense. But we've talked about it before here on Bears Now. Vertical threat. When he's healthy, he's a number 2 caliber receiver. The problem is he's only played more than 11 games one time in his 6-year career. So I certainly understand the hesitation from teams, but I do think his skill set would fit well with Justin Fields. Let's go to T.Y. Hilton now. T.Y. Hilton, who should have familiarity with Matt Eberflus, as Hilton's played his entire career with the Colts. There's chatter that he still would like to continue playing. Now, I don't know if he would want to play elsewhere than Indianapolis, but I think he still has a little bit left in the tank, could be a vertical threat as well. Emmanuel Sanders, who also has some injury concerns this late in his career. He's 35 now, but a guy who can line up on the outside, play in the slot. Good route runner, reliable hands. He's been a steady contributor throughout his career. He's got connections to Tyke Tolbert, the wide receiver coach, who was in Denver with Sanders for a number of years. So I've been interested in him for quite a while. Cole Beasley, strictly a slot receiver. We know Darnell Mooney's going to line up outside and in the slot. Pringle and Velus Jones, when they're healthy, will play some slot and outside. So not sure he'd be an every down guy, but has been one of the better slot receivers over the past 6 or 7 years. Preston Williams, one more. Got cut by the Dolphins. We know there was interest from the Bears in Williams when Chicago ultimately traded for N'Keal Harry. Similar skill set, big physical player who hasn't quite reached his potential, and his production has certainly waned in the last couple of years, which is why the Dolphins decided to cut him, but he remains out there, remains unsigned, a player I would be interested in. Let me ask you guys something. Are you comfortable with the current Bears wide receiver room? Darnell Mooney, Byron Pringle, who's banged up, Velus Jones banged up, Equanimous St. Brown, Dante Pettis, and Amir Smith-Marset. Are you comfortable with that group? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know down in the comments section. All right, let's go to the offensive line now as we continue to take a look at some free agents that remain on the open market. Daryl Williams, who can play tackle, he can play guard. I am shocked that he has not been signed yet. Now, I think with where the Bears are right now on the offensive line, I'm not sure anybody they would sign would start right away. I mean, they already picked up Alex Leatherwood off waivers. They're going to try and develop him. But the starting group of Braxton Jones, Cody Whitehair, we'll see at center. If Lucas Patrick's healthy, he'll start. If not, it'll be Sam Mustipher week one. And then you've got Tevin Jenkins and Larry Borum. I'm not sure any signing would change that for week one, or really the first couple of weeks. But Daryl Williams would provide insurance. He's a guy that can play right tackle or right guard, and if one of those young guys struggle on that side, he can plug in and play. Just someone to keep in mind. Kelechi Osemele, someone who was not on my radar all offseason long. I kind of thought he was done, but he worked out for the Bears a couple of days ago, and Ryan Poles knows him from 2020 when Osemele played for the Chiefs, started 5 games, was playing really well, but then had a nasty injury, a torn patellar tendon, but he worked out. There's some clips of him lifting weights. He looks good, looks healthy. Now he's 33, coming off a severe injury, hasn't played football in 2 years, but this is a 2016 All-Pro with the Raiders, two-time Pro Bowler. Last time he was playing football, he was playing well, and Ryan Poles knows him. Now I think he would be kind of a insurance guard, maybe a guy you sign to the practice squad and then work him up to the 53 once he gets fully ready to go. Keep an eye on that, though. The Bears did work him out. And then I'll mention Eric Fisher one more time. I think this is a long shot because you got Braxton Jones, you've got Riley Reef. Fisher's never played right tackle in the NFL, so probably not the fit in Chicago, but he's a quality player. The Ryan Poles connection and Eberflus from last year as Fisher played this past season with Indianapolis, someone to keep in mind as well. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button because whether I'm at home or in the studios, we're going to continue to bring you daily videos. And with game week upon us, hey, this is the time to subscribe because we'll have news, rumors, injury reports throughout the week. Hopefully we get some good news on Byron Pringle and Velus Jones Jr. this week. Keep it here. Keep it locked in. We will have you covered, so go ahead and subscribe. All right, let's go defense now. Linebackers, Blake Martinez just got cut by the Giants. Said it was a mutual decision between he and the team that he's ready for a new opportunity. Coming off a torn ACL, so it's possible he's lost half a step or a step. But, he's not super old. I think he's 29 now. He's had a lot of success in this league. Really good run stopper. Now, he's not the greatest in coverage, but you could use him in run packages. If Roquan Smith and Nick Morrow are your top two backers, I think Blake Martinez is an upgrade over Matt Adams or Jack Sanborn. You know what I'm saying? And I like Jack Sanborn. I hope he develops. But Blake Martinez for this year could help you and this linebacker crew. And it's possible he'd be better than Nicholas Morrow in some aspects. Now, Morrow's probably going to be a better coverage guy. He's got better speed. But Martinez has had a lot of success in this league for many, many years. Jamie Collins, he's been around for a while. He's obviously had success with the Patriots. He remains unsigned. Don't think he's the player he quite was, but I do think he's worthy of being on an NFL roster. I'm not sure if Joe Schobert is because the Broncos signed him. He played a preseason game or two, and then they cut him. So maybe he's not the same guy he was in Pittsburgh, but for years in this league, this is a pretty good player in Joe Schobert. Now, I think the guy to monitor here the most is Blake Martinez. I expect him to sign somewhere very, very soon. I don't know if that team will be Chicago, but I don't think the linebacker unit is super deep right now. I think that could be a position to add a player. What do you guys think? Should the Bears sign Blake Martinez? Type S for sign, type P for pass. I'm certainly interested. Let me know how you guys feel down in the comments section. All right, 4 more players, 3 cornerbacks, and then we'll get to a defensive lineman. First, Chris Harris Jr., 11-year vet who isn't quite what he was. Some injuries have popped up here. He's 33 now, but veteran player. He can play nickel. He can play outside. I think the Bears value versatility in the secondary. And we've talked about corner, guys. After Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon, and by the way, Kyler Gordon is a rookie and has not played a single NFL snap outside of the preseason. You got real question marks. I think Kendall Vilder will play better in this system, but he has really struggled his first 2 NFL seasons. Guys behind him are very, very unproven. You cut Duke Shelley, you cut Thomas Graham, Tavon Young's out of the picture. So, I don't know. I feel like, Jalen Jones, is that the guy? Is that someone who is going to play real snaps? They picked up the guy who's escaping my brain, the UDFA out of Duke. I mean, is he ready to plug in and play? You got Lamar Jackson, but there's real question marks after the first 2 and for sure the first 3 guys if you want to throw Vilder in there. So, I don't know. I feel like signing a vet corner could make sense. Xavier Rhodes is another one I'll mention here. Experience in Eberflus's defense, has been around for a long time, knows how to play the position. And then Malcolm Butler, who made a comeback this year, did some decent things with the Patriots in camp, is now available again after they cut him with an injury designation. I don't know quite what his status is on that front, but if he's healthy, at a time, he was a great outside corner in this league. I don't know how much he's got left, but could certainly give you some depth at the very least. All right, last Bears free agent target that Ryan Poles could consider before week 1. And keep in mind, he's already made 7 waiver claims, and he continues to talk about how he will continue to look to bolster this roster. 1 defensive lineman, Ndamukong Suh. Surprised he remains unsigned. I think he would rather sign with a veteran team that has a better chance of contending. Doesn't mean the Bears don't have a chance, but a better chance of contending this year. He's 36, but he's got experience in the NFC North, obviously. With Detroit, I'd be interested. I know the Bears have tinkered with that defensive line. They added Armin Watts from Minnesota. I think he's going to fit well in this scheme. But they wanted to add another vet, and Ndamukong Suh is a guy that is still out there. All right, there you go. 15 players that the Bears could target in free agency. I will kind of rapid fire again. 5 receivers, Will Fuller, T.Y. Hilton, Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, and Preston Williams. 3 offensive linemen, Daryl Williams, Kelechi Osemele, Eric Fisher. 3 linebackers, Blake Martinez, Jamie Collins, Joe Schobert. 3 corners, Chris Harris Jr., Xavier Rhodes, Malcolm Butler, and then Ndamukong Suh on the defensive line. 15 players that the Bears could go out and target in free agency before week 1 if they wanted to do so. All right, so what do you guys think? Name a player the Bears should go out and sign before week 1. Maybe there's somebody I'm forgetting. Maybe there's a more under-the-radar player or a player on a different practice squad. Let's hear it, Bears fans. Sound off in the comments section. All right, that's going to do it for today's at-home edition of Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham. Please hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. It's going to be a big week. Week 1 of the season is here, so let's get it. Let's have a blast. Let's have a good time. And I will continue to bring you daily videos leading up to kickoff against the 49ers next Sunday. So go ahead and subscribe. Follow me on social media as well, at HGrahamNFL on Twitter. It's at HGrahamNFL on Instagram. Same handle, different platform. DMs are open. Feel free to ask me your Bears questions. All right, that's going to do it. We're going to sign off here. Video coming at you tomorrow from the studios. Until then, bear down.